One of yous asked me, he said, why don't you do a whole video with a full-on broad Sunderland accent? So I thought, well, that might get a bit annoying, like, might get on people's nerves, you know. But I thought I'd just do this little intro here to my podcast, because I've been to meet Ben in Pallion, and he's a proper Sunderland lad, like. Yeah. So what's going on with you? What's the deal with you? One thing I'd say about you is you definitely sound like you're from Sunderland.
Thank you.
And it's a beautiful sound. I love hearing it.
I love being from Sunderland in a way. Even though people's like, why do you like being from Sunderland? It's like, to be home in it.
I was driving today to Bishop Auckland to interview somebody, and there was a hill, and it was just called Canny Hill.
Canny Hill.
And I was just like, imagine them naming the place, and they're just like, what's over there? I don't know. What about that hill? It's Canny.
Canny Hill.
We'll call it Canny Hill.
Canny Hill, I know.
The only place where you would have something called... To be honest, canny is a word that I forget about when I leave here.
Yeah.
Because everything's canny when you come here.
No, I use it all the time. Like, I mean, because I was in London the other day, and I was talking to the taxi driver. I was going, he was telling us about how he was buying a wand for his kid from the Harry Potter shop. I don't know, well, wait, at least the Ben likes it. And he was like, Ben? And I went, you know, the Ben. He went, what? Oh, no, sorry, mate. I went, sorry, I meant kid, like, you know, like a child, you know. He was going, what? And I was like, you know, the Ben. And he's like, expecting him to know. Do you know what I mean? But I was spitting down there, like, I did put on a thick Sunderland accent when I was down there, and everyone's looking at us like, so I was in Wetherspoons, like, can I have apple juice and orange juice, please, mate? I went, but I didn't really want much ice and apple juice. And he went, so you don't want any juice? I went, no, I didn't say that. He was like, oh, you did? I went, no. I went, and then he just had to start the order again. They
patronise you when you go to London because you're from Sunderland. It's like, once they hear your accent, they think it's no rougher than like your typical Croydon or Essex accent, right? To me, that sounds horrendous. Sunderland sounds, to be fair, I get it. If you walk around Dubai or something, like, I'm here, you go there, I've got trainers didn't fit, I need, you know, they're going to be like, what?
I'm not going to speak more clearer because I'm there. Yeah. The only way I could describe where Sunderland was, the taxi drivers was going, they'll go, I'm from Sunderland, they'll go, sorry. And I'm going, do you know about Newcastle? So they'll go, oh yeah, Newcastle. I don't want to mention Newcastle when I mention Sunderland.
Nowhere in the world's going to know what Sunderland is. I know on your Facebook you've got Sunderland, just because of the way you say it, and that's actually in the Philippines or something, isn't it?
Sunderland, I always say it, Sunderland, aye. But it does annoy us, like, I mean, don't get us wrong, like, Sunderland City Centre, sorry, can I swear?
No, never. You've got to use stupid words like flip, fork, or...
Right, okay.
Of course you can swear.
Oh, I can actually, alright, because I do swear a lot sometimes. But yeah, Sunderland City Centre, shithole. Like,
how would you say that without swearing?
Sunderland City Centre is... It's a rubbish hole, I don't know.
A rubbish hole?
Rubbish hole. It's a state, do you know what I mean? It's like, you go in there and it's just like, I don't know, it's like take away a big city but leaving all like the stuff that, do you know, like all the, like, it's like homeless. I'm saying, you know, it's not their fault or whatever.
I tell you what, when you go to Manchester, there's a hell of a lot more homeless people in Manchester. Like, that's
Manchester's mad for it.
Mad for it, is that?
Oh, mad for it, yeah, Manchester. Yeah, but like Sunderland, I'll say it's I don't want to say idiots, but like, you know, like Sunderland, there is lovely people, but obviously when you're going to go to a city and there's going to be good and bad people. But Sunderland, it's becoming a bit of a shithole, and like I'm noticing more. I don't know what it is. Noticing more dirt bikes, like kids wearing.
Oh, right, yeah.
Do you know, like dirt bikes wearing balaclavas, like that's going to protect you. Riding through the city centre, then you've got people offered on whatever, just outside. It's always outside banks. You say people like passed out on drugs or something. More people asking for like change and stuff. But you can tell like the cost of living's really having an effect on people. That's what I've noticed. Because Sunderland's always been... I can't slag it off because I live here, but it's getting worse. Like shoplifters, it's getting worse. There's even like they've got radios in charity shops for when like shoplifters are coming over. So like, oh, this person's coming over to your charity shop or shop, and in Sunderland there's never ever been like security in shops, in like a big shop like Flannels or something, or like Primark, but like the pound shop's got security now, and like, you know, like the pound shop, and I'm like, it's because people are shoplifting because the cost of living is hitting people.
Do you know
what
what?
I say in Sunderland?
Remember in Jumanji, I'm going to watch Jumanji when I get home because I fucking love Jumanji. But the bit where he comes out of Jumanji now and he's like, he goes around and he's trying to find his dad and the whole town's gone to shit. That's what Sunderland's like. No offense to Sunderland,
No,
but
it's true, mate. Like, it is like Jumanji, and it's a shame because I've grew up in Sunderland. Do you know what I mean?
well, I don't know. Did we not get protected from it when we were kids? Was it always?
I think we did. Like, well, obviously, we've seen it now. Do you know what I mean? But I think we're saying it. We're obviously saying it when we were kids, but we just went straight off because we're kids. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, thing is, I was talking to my dad about because I'm talking about selling my house and shit, right? It's a whole thing to get into. But he was like, when I was 23, I'd built this house here and this, and it was like, it's this big house, and it's like, he was 23. When I was 23, I was living in a student flat or something. But the point was, like, it was a lot better back then financially. Like, we were brought up at a time when it was probably a hell of a lot easier to bring your kids up. Now, I'd like, I'm 33 and I've put it off for years because it's never seemed like a good time financially. But when you see cost of living on the telly and that, it's always going to be rough places that are more easily, like, you can just see it more clearly. But Sunderland has been like, it's never been a posh place.
No.
But
there's posh places in Sunderland.
I think
it's never been like a posh place. It's always been like, oh, Sunderland. It's like one of those towns, isn't it?
It's something my nana always said. Sunderland was supposed to be a town, and then it got turned into a city, so it never had the budget of a city.
It's always been working class roads, you know, like you've had the shipyards, you've had the mines, pits.
Aye.
Where the stadium like is now. It's like, my family worked in the shipyards and the pits or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, it's always been like that working class town. Obviously when we were young, when I was younger, even when you were, it wasn't easy time to raise your kids, you know what I mean? Because everything was like, it's not easy, but...
Thinking about it though, something I always forget is how friggin' old I am now. There's 10 years between when you were a kid and I was a kid. Like, whatever time it was 10 years different. And when would it have been? Like, when I'm talking about 1995 or something, you're thinking about 2005. And, like, I think the 90s were more what I mean, where it's like you could buy a house for, like, 20 grand or something. And you could have it paid off. And then 2005, a load of shit had happened financially. And I don't know. I couldn't bring up all the graphs and the data, but... I think 2005 was like a decline towards where we are now. The 90s were like fucking the heyday. I mean, with Sunderland, oh, fucking hell, man. With Sunderland, it was like, you know, when you watch Billy Elliot and it's like the pits and that were closing in the 80s, and then probably a load of people, I don't know what happened. I feel like I'm talking about shit I don't know about. But
I know what you mean. It's like,
Sunderland has always been, it had a purpose, and then the pits closed, and then it didn't. And then it became like a customer service thing.
Yeah, it was like the same with the shipyards, wasn't it? That was like here, you know, Margaret Thatcher and that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was his purpose, like as a working, got sound like historian, eh? Like,
I know, it's like
like a working class town. Do you know what I mean? Like it also had its purpose, but now it's turned into just a city. Primark, a McDonald's, a bloody few charity shops. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
But I think the best part of Sunderland, and I'm going to mention it now.
Right.
Jackie White's Market.
Well, yeah.
There we go. Said it.
Oh, it's out the bag now.
It's out the bag. Jackie White's Market.
Jackie White's Market. We got to talk about it because it's been there forever, and
ever.
And anyone that's never seen Jackie White's Market, I was supposed to go today, but I didn't get time. Just walk around it because it's unlike anywhere else in the world. It's so shit that it's good.
I've seen. Do you know what it is though? Jackie White's Market. When I was younger, when I used to go to town with my dad and my sister, I used to take us to the sweet. It's still there. The sweet shop.
The sweet shop is great.
I used to get something called black and rasps. So it was raspberries flavoured, and I don't know what blackcurrant, I'm guessing.
Or licorice or something.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was, but lovely. And my sister used to get, they were white, they were like, Frazzles.
Yeah.
Like the white buttons were there. She used to get them, and I remember that there wasn't really that much when
I
was
younger. The white chocolate with hundreds and thousand bead things on it. Yeah.
She used to get them, we used to go to the cinemas on like a Saturday. Like it was cheap as hell.
Instead of pick and mix, you'd go there and get your sweets.
Because it was cheaper, because pick and mix.
Well, yeah, pick and mix is still ridiculous. Yeah. Notorious.
There used to be a sweet shop on the corner with only gone when it was paid here, because you couldn't afford it any other time, do you know what I mean?
See, this is what we're talking about, the things we were protected from as kids.
Yeah.
We didn't really think about it, but...
Don't know.
It was all there. But Jackie White's, it's like, you walk in, if you're going in through the front entrance, and it smells like a butcher's, because
fish.
You smell the fish, you smell the meat, and it's like...
Some other way it smells.
It's like walking through fucking Bombay or something. It's like going through a proper like Indian. It's like
It's weird, isn't it?
it's like real people living real life. It's not like going through Morrison's or something where everything's like the same all up and down. It's like a proper real place. You can smell the greengrocers.
Cafe in there as well. That cafe's been there.
You know that cafe at the front, the one right at the front. That's like there's a newsstand there.
Yeah.
And then there's the big door for Jackie White's, and then there's a little cafe at the front. It used to be Wacky Donuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember Wacky Donuts or not. My mum and dad used to run that place, Wacky Donuts.
Right, yeah.
And that was like, there's probably a few stories of that from back in the day, but like, it used to be amazing because we could just walk through town and just stop in and just pick up sandwiches and donuts and make ourselves a corner and that, probably take the piss. And then customers would come in and we'd just be like, sorry, I can't help you, and just keep like filling
Is
out.
that the one on the left when you got in?
Yeah, there's Timpson's there, and then there's.
I know. Of course, I know what you mean.
It's
They do
changed hands a
milkshakes.
few times.
I know what you mean. I still go there for milkshake now and again. But Jackie White's Tomato now, there's more stuff in it, and Sunderland's trying to promote it.
Well, they're trying to make it into a proper thing.
Yeah, because there's a thing called the Retro Games Room, something it's called.
In Jackie White's.
Yeah, and he sells loads of like wrestling figures. He sells
Oh,
like
that's cool.
Star Wars stuff and like what else?
I should have gone today, man.
He's canny and all. I think he's from like. He hasn't got Sunderland accent. I sold all my old wrestling figures there.
But recently.
A few months ago. Because I was clearing out my room and I was like, oh, there's my old wrestling figures and like the belts, the heavyweight champion belt, whatever. So I'll sell you these, like get cheap for your shop and that sell. So I'll chase, I sold them.
Do you know, I used to buy Nintendo games back in the day in Jackie White's. But the thing was, there's Wacky Donuts and that was all going on there. And then just behind it, there's this butcher's, and I don't know I think it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there.
That butcher, right? And I don't know if it's the same bloke. He used to sell us all of our pirate videos and CDs.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
my mum would go and she'd be like, we never bought meat from him. It was just like,
I was like,
yeah, it's Shania Twain, or whatever. Is
Oasis' new album or something.
well, I don't think she would ever buy anything quite so hip, but she definitely bought Shania Twain. I
Barry
remember.
Manilow or something.
It was all these compilations he would do, and they were blue, the discs. It was clearly like a pirate, and I don't know if he kept it under the counter. I mean, in a cartoon version of it, he would lift up a steak and there'd be a videotape under there. Like, I don't think it was quite like that, but that was his side gig, and we got Home Alone 2 from him,
movie.
and they were terrible pirates though. They were like clearly filmed at the cinema.
Yeah. I had a lot of them when I was younger. My
it
nana's
was
neighbour
horrible.
used to do videos. Sorry, not DVDs. And they used to have a list
Yeah.
of what movies were coming on. So I got Kung Fu Panda from him, and I remember I let myself away. I was in McDonald's. And you know when they used to do all the toys and that?
Yeah.
I bought all that. My dad was, I'll get you the because then I don't know if you still do it, but you can go to McDonald's and be like, oh, like, can I have this toy? And it'd sell you for like 70 pence.
I didn't know you could do that. I thought you had to have a Happy Meal for it. Like,
Well, I didn't know, but someone told us who worked there. They were, oh, I wouldn't sell you these if you want.
for 70 pence.
I think it was like 70 pence, and I bought all of them. And I was at the bus stop playing with them. Someone was like, oh, she was like, do you like Kung Fu Panda? I was like, oh yeah, it's really good. I've already seen it. I've got the movie in the house. She went, got the movie. I went,
That was the thing. You used to have some responsibility. Like, now you just be like, yeah, download it, whatever, what you going to do. But back then it was like, oh shit, I don't want to grasp the butcher up, for me copy.
Home Alone 2.
God, everything Scooby-Doo. I was talking to a girl at school. I was like, yeah, I've got Scooby, like, just like you. Like, I've got it in the house. And she was like, her dad was like a lawyer or something. I was like, shit. Like, is it going to...
I had, I'm trying to think what movies I had. Scooby-Doo, did I have any Scooby?
Did it not spoil the film forever, though? Because the quality was just burned into your brain.
Sometimes the quality was bad, and sometimes it would be lucky. It'd be like a lucky draw, isn't it? It'd be like,
Yeah.
is it going to be shit? Is it going to be good? And when you got a good one, remember Space Chimps I had?
Space Chimps?
Yeah, have you ever watched Space Chimps?
No, I've never heard of it.
So it's loads of chimps gone to space.
I thought it would be when you said it, like,
So
put the two and two together.
and it's I forgot what it's about now, but chimps gone to space.
Well, it sounds great. I'm gonna have to give it a watch.
What
Like,
else was it? I can remember. I don't know because I know I remember that because there was one day I was ill, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna rewatch this movie about 10 times.
yeah,
And just like watch this movie about 10. It's still playing in my head now. Like, to be honest with you.
that's a good shout for anyone that's hungover or
Space
ill. Space Chimps.
I've got sometimes I rewatch all my old childhood movies. And I'm like,
Yeah, I
this
do
is
that.
shit. Do you know what I mean? Like,
It was shit.
Like half of them's like, I mean, at the time I enjoyed them, but now I'm like, this is canny bad. This the only childhood movies I really like still is like Home Alone.
Yeah, I was thinking
More
that.
Formula 1.
I saw you had a picture of like John Candy, the poker king of the Midwest.
Yeah. There was a thing in my old band there. We've got a song called Candy.
Oh,
after
yeah.
John Candy. And it was a thing, I had loads of samples of John Candy laughing. And like
He had a great laugh, like.
I'd reverse them, do you know, on that bit in Planes, Trains and Automobiles? And it's a bit where the lorry screeches past him and Steve Martin.
Yeah, Steve Martin.
And he's going, just as the devil. And I got that and put loads of delay and like reverb on it. And we had that playing live. And at the end of one of our sets, the bit at the end, there was a bit at the beginning, he's like, I was like, yeah, I'm a nice guy, my wife likes me. And it's that really sad speech he does.
Yeah, what you see is what you get.
Yeah, I had that playing at the end of the set. And we weren't like the main band, we were only support band. But I thought, I'm going to set it up. And the crowd was just packing away, and that was just playing over the the crowd was going, so what's going on? And this other band come on, we're like, yeah, we're gonna make the vibe less depressing now, and we're gonna.
It's really sad that
things up.
speech.
And I was like, mate, your band's shit. It's like we've just played loads of John Candy stuff, and you're about to rip off Falls. I was like, knock it off.
I'd love to see a band do something like that. It sounds like a magical moment. Like,
but we did that at the end. I mean, I don't do it anymore.
Just think about the drama of that with the backing music and the swelling.
So over the top. I mean, I've got it there. So at the beginning of the song was something off John Candy, and it was just him talking. But the bit that I absolutely love, Home Alone. John Candy comes up and he's like, "Oh, I see you're a bit lost," and she's like, "Yeah, I just want to get back home." And he's going, "Polka, polka, polka," and he's like, and it's just stuff like that. And I think he's class John Candy. So we had that in the song, and like him laughing, and we just love John Candy.
Yeah,
but I don't do it with my new band as much.
I accidentally bought that yellow jacket, you know, the one from...
Oh, the polka...
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have his logo on it or anything, but it was just... I put it on, I was like, this is like the one he wears in Home Alone, like...
Halloween, there you go, Halloween sort of.
Yeah, big in Sheboygan.
Very big in Sheboygan.
I want to go to Sheboygan.
I've looked into it.
What?
It's like $2,000 to go.
It's not worth it. I think he deliberately mentioned Sheboygan like you would mention Swindon or something, like it was just a shit place.
Yeah. So Sheboygan.
And now it's like pilgrimage to Sheboygan.
Sheboygan's getting all the love, man, because of John Candy.
Yeah.
There
it's
you go.
like Scranton and The Office, but I think they mentioned Scranton in Home Alone as well.
Unpopular opinion. I think the UK Office is better.
That's not unpopular. I agree with that.
Do you agree?
I think most people would agree. I mean, most British people would agree. But it's better in a different... It's better on a bigger scale than you think. It's not just that it's funnier. It's just like they missed the point when they made it in America.
I think I like Ricky Gervais, how he only does like stuff for like 2 or 3 seasons.
That's the proper way.
The US Office I couldn't get into. I was like, it's not funny. Why is it not funny? But because I'm so used to Ricky Gervais. Like Ricky Gervais is mint.
There's a great clip I saw on TikTok. I can't remember who did it, but it was like, this is why the American Office doesn't work. And it was the exact same clip. It was the stapler and the jelly, right? And it was like, this is how they did it in the English one. This is how they did it. They showed the American one first, and it was like, right? It's just, it's not a funny moment. But then Ricky Gervais does it. It's like, I'm crawling out from my skin. It's so fucking cringy.
It's like, did you ever see the US In-Betweeners?
No, I've heard about it.
Rough.
Yeah.
Rough there, like, couldn't do it. And I was like, I'm really cringing.
Yeah, the culture's totally different. Yeah, it's just...
I'd say, why bother doing... I know the US Office is big and, you know, but why do a US version? Like, I mean, I don't know. Wait, has the UK done like a UK version of a US store? I can't think of any. Because I know it's always a US styling. It's like Shameless.
You know what? We don't do that because we've got our own fucking ideas. You
exactly,
know,
we've got, that's it. But it's like, they did it with Shameless, In-Betweeners, Offers. I think they're going to do it with this country.
Really?
Or is that Australian? I don't know.
That would probably work in Australia. Or New Zealand it would work. It's because New Zealand has similar humour to England, I think. Yeah. But America, fucking hell. Imagine this country, but in America. It would just be a bunch of like rednecks or something. It would be totally different.
Rednecks. I'd be like, nah, man, I'm going to knock it off.
There's something subtle about British comedy that... And it sounds like really elitist and stupid, but it's just like... There's something about like... There was Rowan Atkinson was on he was on the Graham Norton show and he was talking about this. He went to a dealership for Range Rover or something and there was a bloke who recognised him. I don't know if you've seen the interview. He was like, you look like that bloke who plays Mr. Bean, but I know you're not him. And he was like, he couldn't convince him that he was actually Mr. Bean. But for some reason, what made it 10 times funnier for me was that Rowan Atkinson's putting on a Geordie accent when he's playing this guy. No, I know you say you're him, but it was just when I was like, Americans wouldn't get that at all. There's
No.
something about Rowan Atkinson putting on a Geordie accent that's
funny, yeah.
yeah.
Just Americans wouldn't get it. They'd be like, why is he doing that stupid accent?
Yeah.
Like Americans, man. It's like going back to London. I was amazed by how many Americans were in London than actual like Southerners.
Like living there.
It was weird. I was like, walking around, I'd just be hearing American accents, and I went to my girlfriend. I went, "Are we in America?" Like, I went to a Wetherspoons. There's Americans like, "Oh, this is great value for money," and it's like,
students in it or influencers,
older people.
Oh shit!
Like, I was like, "Fuck," and he's like in his 50s, and he's kicking about London and that. And I'm like, it's like Australian people, French people. And I was like, I heard a couple of Southerners, and then I heard a Geordie lass actually.
Really? It's always nice to meet someone from the northeast. Like.
Which was like, oh yeah, Newcastle's better. And I was like, oh, shut up, man.
I wish you'd met a Mackem. You never meet a Mackem anywhere. It's very rare.
I mean, I met one in America when I was younger.
A Mackem in America?
Yeah, we went to Florida for like on holiday. And there was some guy wearing a Sunderland shirt. My dad ran up and he went, all right, mate. He went, come here. Give each other hugs and that. And it's like, fuck, no. It's like, Mackem's in America.
It's a small world when things like that happen. Like, I'm gonna get a Sunderland shirt, you know. Everyone's been saying like,
get one.
I feel like I'm home, like in a good way, and I miss having like I'm not a Sunderland support. I'm not like against football, or I just don't give a shit. But I feel
nice,
like,
isn't it?
Huh?
It's nice just to have that.
Yeah, I mean, it's something about Sunderland that I feel like I want to support Sunderland just by being here.
Just to fit in with everyone and like. Oh, like I can talk about because it's amazing how many people talk about football, you know. Even when you're like, so I think you're going to win on Saturday. I've got this bad feeling, you know. But I do support Sunderland myself. Only thing I've got with Sunderland is trying to get a nicer size for the strips. Yeah. Because I like big clothes. This
is something I'm going to run into because I was thinking like I wanted to go to the Sunderland shop today and just pick up a shirt. No.
I mean, it's alright. I mean, I ordered one, and I'll see the size. So I ordered a 5XL, and
that's probably what I would order. Like.
Fucking massive, right? 5XL, because I like my t-shirts baggy.
Yeah.
And like, I just so I ordered one, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be baggy. It was like tight. I went, what the?
Oh Jesus!
I went, what have I put on there? I mean, this shirt's like, I don't know, like 5XL 4, and it's like baggy. The size and the Sunderland shirt.
Takes the piss.
It's shit.
It's really. Do you know what? I think this is something we could get onto here. Like the women's clothing, it's like women's size inclusive stuff and body positivity and stuff, right? Men, it's like you're fat. Well, go fuck yourself. It is, and it's never changed.
If you want to go on shopping, you can't diet. Like and put like no. If you want to.
I hate it because every shop, it's like right 3XL. What the fuck is 3XL to me?
No, it's like I hate it. Like. I can get away with 3XL, but I prefer baggy stuff because I don't want,
3XL is like my bottom of my belly's hanging out the t-shirt, and I hate it. But it's like when I go to I don't know anywhere, Trafford Centre or whatever, you go to Primark, written off, can't get anything.
Primark,
River Island. I think name any shop, even HMV, all the t-shirts, the band
XL.
t-shirts. Forget about it.
Went to a gig on the weekend. I'll actually bring up London again. Went to go say 1975 with my girlfriend in Finsbury Park.
The big. Did they have the big stage thing with the tellies and that?
Canny was meant like
cool.
Yeah. So they had the whole setup, the lot, and the thing on the merch. I can never ever buy merchandise.
Yeah.
The only time I have, and people's gonna go, "Why are you listening to him?" Morrissey. I love the Smiths. So
I mean,
I've got my Smiths. Smiths coasters there.
The coaster, aye.
So I want to go say Morrissey. Love the Smiths, and I got 3XL in this t-shirt. I'm not buy it. It fits. So mint. There's like another band called Boy Genius. Their merch goes up to like 4XL, 5 and mint. 1975, all too big size, mate, or XL.
Yeah.
I went, that's what I'm going to fit on my fucking arm, mate.
You could cut the pattern off it and stitch it onto a proper shirt.
And I was like, I'm not paying £35 on air. So I bought one for my girlfriend. I bought one for Amy. Sorry, I was like, I'll get her one. I'm not gonna buy one because they're not fitters.
It's annoying. We went to see Lizzo. Well, I don't know if you saw the video, but we went to see Lizzo in Manchester, and because Lizzo's a big woman, she, I guess, made sure that they were selling merch that was... But do you know how much a hoodie was? Right?
I'm going to guess £80.
It was £80. Why did you guess so accurately?
I'll tell you why. When Amy got really cheap tickets for Beyonce at the stadium, so I began, and all her merch was like 80, 90, 100 quid for like hoodies and that.
Fucking piss take, like unbelievable.
I think I've been to like a few gigs now to know how much it's going to be.
Get the hoodie home and you can see the fruit of the loom thing on the inside. It's a £10 hoodie.
Did you buy any merch in the end, or?
I didn't. She did. I was just like, I was going to pay her back for some drinks that she'd bought, and I was like, fuck yeah, if you're going to spend that kind of money, you can. You've got money then.
What I say, I'm like, I'm not paying that fucking much for you know, like 90 quid. And people go, oh, it's a one-off experience. So it's like, you've paid how much for a ticket and you're going to pay another £90 more for a hoodie. I'm like, it's not happening. I'll buy like a K-ring.
I just feel so angry about like the price that I'd rather not. I'd rather not support them.
I don't know, especially for like a bloody t-shirt that's not going to fit.
The 1975, if we talk briefly about that, so he's from up here, isn't he? Not really, yeah. The stage and everything for it, I mean, I've seen it in videos. It's set out like a house from the 70s, isn't it? So
it's like, so we went to go see him in Newcastle, and he said on Finsbury Park, he was like, oh, like, this setup is how I like lived for a year by himself.
Oh, right.
And it's like, it's weird, each member's got a different part of the house to themselves. So like, there's a member in the kitchen, there's a member in the bathroom, there's a member, well, Matty Haley's obviously in the sitting room and smoking his life away in there.
It's brilliant though, isn't it? It's like
really good.
It's so, I know that a lot of these shows now, they know that people are going to get their phones out and start filming it.
Yeah.
And it's got to look fucking cool when you put it online, right?
It looks mint.
And it really, every single one with that 1975 have been like, oh, I really want to go. Like, I don't really listen to the music that much. I've heard bits and pieces. It sounds super modern, but just, I love what they're doing.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, what I like about them, they try to do the tickets as cheap as possible.
Yeah.
So there's no VIP, there's no golden circle, there's nothing like that. He wants everyone to have the same experience.
Yeah.
I was watching the interview, he said that all the bands, like, you charge like £20 more to meet you. Like, you take the money off the fan and say how you feel. It's like,
oh, I remember seeing him do that interview. Yeah.
And it's good because like it is a 40. He's like, oh, we want people with no money to come at our show. I think we paid £50 for a ticket. Obviously, it's Ticketmaster fees. But you're saying bands like American Football, Cigarettes After Sex, like all these big bands, as well as 1975 in Finsbury Park for £50. It's not bad at all. I
can't remember how much Lizzo was. It was probably expensive. But do you know how much it is to see Queens of the Stone Age now?
Like, I wanted a GAN, and it was like £100 and odd for standing. I'm like, nah, yeah, alright, I'll pass.
I think I don't know if I just got confused in my head or something, but it was like, were they also touring with what they call Eagles of Death Metal at the same time? Because half of them's the same, aren't they? It's like mix and match.
Josh Homme, he's the
lead singer in Queens of Stone Age, but he's just rhythm guitar or lead guitar and and
he does them Crooked Vultures as well with Dave Grohl and bassist out of Led Zeppelin. What's his name?
John Paul Jones. Yeah,
he does. I think that's him.
I noticed that on the tour they didn't have Dave Grohl. I think it was some other drummer. But
yeah, because he played with him for like an album. And like went back to Foo
He's
Fighters.
in all the videos and that, isn't he?
For the what's the songs for the Deaf? The album's called. He played on that. Pissed off back to Foo Fighters and just got massive. I
didn't realise it was 100. I thought it was like 300 when I was looking. Maybe that was some of the.
Yeah, it's like a VIP experience.
The golden bullshit.
Golden. I hate that. I hate like golden circle. It's like
we went to see Metallica in the Etihad in Manchester, and the guy's girlfriend had bought him tickets and then they'd split up, so he took me instead. He'd give me the ticket for free, but I was like, I don't want to sit and watch Metallica. I want to stand, I want to be with the crowd. So we went up to this random scalper and we'd give him like an extra £100 or something, and we didn't even know if they were real tickets, like, but we had to give him our tickets and give him £100, and then he'd give us standing tickets, but we were pissed. So it was like, it seemed like a good idea. The problem was the drums for me. It was, everyone goes on about Lars.
He's the most irritating man.
It's
ever.
Because when you go to any show, especially if there's going to be mosh pits in that, you want it to be tight, the rhythm, so you can get into a groove. With that music, with Lars on drums, it was just like,
he can't keep up, can he?
I feel like I'm in danger because I'm not getting into any rhythm or groove.
Yeah.
I don't know how many like times you go to mosh pits or whatever, if that's something you do, or
sometimes because I've got a bad shoulder.
Oh, right.
I come off like a pedal bike. I'll say a motorbike to say like sound cool. Come off a motorbike.
Motorbike accident.
And I got a fractured my clavicle.
Oh, how long ago was that?
That was I should know.
Like a long time.
2017.
Right. Okay.
I fractured my clavicle and I had to go. I've got a massive scar going across there, and I was always scared of mosh pits, right? Because I went to go see Royal Blood prior to that. I'd been at Download Festival.
Oh, right, yeah.
I was always scared of them. Like, I loved them, but I was too scared. And I kind of regretted now because since I've gotten a bit older, like gigs and that before, I've gotten into mosh pits, but I've only gone in one side. So like I'm joking because I remember.
Because the shoulder high.
Yeah, and like, you know, I remember going into a mosh. Me and my friend started one for a band called King Nun. They've signed on the same label as like 1975 and stuff, but like a massive, like the heavy.
Right.
So we're seeing them at the one near the Life Centre in Newcastle. I'll cut my head. Anyways, we were playing the downstairs, and me mate didn't know what to do. And he started pushing us, punching us. I mean, I'll knock it off.
It's not meant to be violent though, is it? It's
no,
like
and he didn't know, and he started booting us in the leg.
There was a thing where we started going to like we would always go to mosh pits and that. We'd go and see all sorts of bands, and then these hardcore kids started coming in and they'd swing their fists.
Oh yeah, that's annoying. That.
It ruined mosh pits. It ruined gigs for a long time.
Yeah.
And we would end up getting into sort of fights with them because you don't want to get a fist thrown in your face.
Yeah.
A mosh pit, I found. You realise when you commit to it that if you fall, people will pull you back up, and nobody wants to hurt you. We're just bouncing around to the music.
That happened to me at Foo Fighters.
What, you fell?
And yeah, I had a damaged, I damaged my soft tissue in my leg or something. And All My Life was on, and I was like, well, we're going out in this mosh pit.
Yeah, you got it.
So I was jumping about, and this massive bloke just went like that, smack, went on the floor, and I remember looking up like that, and up at the sky, and then I just went like that, and all the people just raised us back up, and I went, oh. And I stood at the side, I went, fuck that. I went, and he went, I'm really sorry, mate. I went, no, you're alright.
It's all love. It's like love. It's love of the music, and it's like sometimes it's the only way to experience it. Like a song like All My Life, you know, it's something where people look at mosh pit. It's an outsider thing, isn't it? It's like people that's never done it. You would think of it, oh my god, the violence.
Violent.
It's not. It's a beautiful thing. The circle pit thing would be like. They would always, the guy would get the mic, he's like, listen you fuckers, I want a circle pit.
Fucking circle, yeah, that happened all the time though. When I say them, the Spotting Green Day, I want to see a circle pit right there, and they just didn't do one because it's all time, wasn't it? What
I've found, right, in my experience with gigs, the heavier the band, the less you get hurt in the mosh pit.
Yeah.
I went to see Origin. Have you ever listened to Origin? I think I don't know if it's called Porno Grind or something. It's super fucking... It's like, that was one of the most relaxing gigs. I mean, like, I was just basically I felt like I was in a washing machine. Just like, very relaxing. I went to see Cannibal Corpse, Napalm Death, like all the heavy shit, and it never got hurt. And then I went to see Motorhead, and I nearly broke my fucking ankle. People are dickheads in Motorhead.
Yeah, that's all older people, isn't there? I seen Black Sabbath, and I wasn't even a mosh pit. I don't know what the crowd was doing, but it was just back and forth. I was just stuck there like that. I was like being in the sea. I was just like that, back and forth.
Being in the sea.
Yeah, back and forth, and I was like, fucking hell, it's horrible. This got out, and it was a mosh pit broke out behind us, and I don't know what had happened. Some guy just covered head to toe in blood. What I love about like metal festivals and that, I was about 14, and I was like, I'm in the middle of Donington, and I went with my mate and his dad and a couple of his family members, and I went, he's like at the, because I was quite close to the front, like he's on the barrier, I'm here, and some lad covered in blood, and I'm like, and I was getting a bit, you know, and some guy was like, you alright, mate? I went, oh mate, like I've lost my mate, like I'm on. He went, oh, just stick with me and watch Black Sabbath. Me and him dancing at Black Sabbath. So, oh, you'll be alright. And I'm like, how fucking kind of people.
It's music, isn't it? It's
the music. He was like, come in, jumping up with like paranoid and that. And he's like, oh, you'll be alright, man. Fucking, I'm there to on Facebook.
It makes you appreciate like humanity, like. Yeah. And it sounds like a really heavy thing, but with football, I suppose there's half a stadium wanting one thing, half want the other, and there'd be fights or whatever. But at music, you're all facing the same way, and you all want the same thing, and it's like there's no fighting. Yeah,
I do love a gig. I mean, metal gigs are like, I mean, because I when I was younger, I used to love metal. I mean, now I like everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not just like this. I do like everything. I say I've got like the Police pop vinyl there and stuff I got from Christmas.
Yeah.
Smith's courses, like, I'm saying 1975.
Good music is good music.
And yeah, I just love music, and what I find with more like with metal gigs and that, everyone's just friendlier.
Way friendlier, yeah.
I put my hands up. I've been a bit of a dickhead in a mosh pit before. I don't know if I pushed someone just because I thought I just did, and I put my hands up there. But some people just didn't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? They're out there to hurt people.
That's it, yeah.
It's not about hurting people. It's about having fun together. It's all one. Do you know, all is love and all that rubbish, but
people think that, oh, I've never been before, I'm a bit intimidated, I'm going to hurt people because that's what I think it is, and it's so ignorant, and it's like there's a whole generation of kids that like didn't know, and they suddenly are filling up these places and going to gigs, and you can't move for them. It's just...
It's a weird world we're living in now.